Okay, so thank you so much for taking the time to share your experiences with the NCLEX Strategies for Success program. I want to congratulate you again for passing the NCLEX. Now you are ready to get started with your nursing career. So during your time in the NCLEX Strategies for Success program, we have an online component and then also the face-to-face tutoring. For everyone watching this testimonial, what's the one thing that you really enjoyed about the material online, the structure or the layout? What was it for you that really helped you with this?
What helped me with the layout or the content of the website was that you gave me a systematical way to create a strategy of how to prioritize and how to resonate myself to what I believe would be the correct answer to the question. That strategy that I learned was the missing link, I think, to what I needed to succeed.
Yeah, so let me ask you, just so we can elaborate on that a little bit. Before you got into my tutoring program, where did you find yourself with your NCLEX preparations? Were you overwhelmed? Did you have so many resources you didn't really know what to do with? Did you not know where to even start? What was it for you that systematic approach where you started from here to go here to learn all the skills you needed? How did that help you? Where were you before that?
I think I was a good place before that. Content-wise, I used... Can I say what I used?
Yeah, you can say what you used. Oftentimes we have lots of conversations about the different programs out there.
Yeah, I just started directly on UWorld. Started from the first question to the last. I worked my way throughout all those 2,200 questions, and I read absolutely all the rationals, and I also repeated everything like 3 times. So I felt like I had a very good content base, and I made many notes, like a whole lot of notes.
Right. And so when you got into my program with all of that review that you've already done, there was something there that made you say, I need more validation of my skill set. So where were you? What made you decide that, beyond all of that work, which is a lot of work, I know for a fact, and I know those questions are really great questions and they can help to validate your understanding of the content. But where were you when you decided that you wanted to have that validation of your skill set? What made you seek me out?
Because sometimes when I looked at new questions, I was still unsure about what the right answer would be. And I had heard about that there is a decision tree that you can use, but I wasn't trained on it. And I just wanted like some professional help with how to use a strategy to resonate myself to the correct answer. And on top of that, I also wanted to have tutoring.
Right.
Because most of the time, well actually all the time, I've been studying alone by myself, trying to resonate with myself. And sometimes I sit there with a lot of questions and I have nobody to really ask. And that was also the second reason for me to, really wanting to get in touch with somebody to help me.
Right, so I know from working with you that you were in a great place content-wise. You knew your information. It was very little that I would have to reinforce with you on kind of the key points of what you should know about a particular topic. However, this is why I wanted to ask you that question, because oftentimes, no matter how well we're prepared with content, if we don't know how to take the test, and if we don't know where we need to focus when we're answering questions and have that systematic step-by-step process, then we could still wind up being in a place where we don't pass the NCLEX. And you know from us working together that there were plenty of questions that, even though you know the content, we were still getting wrong because it had nothing to do with the topic, but more of the decision-making process, that critical thinking, the rules, principles, and guidelines that drive decision-making. So, you know, even for those individuals who know their stuff, at a minimum, my program is helpful for validating your skill set and helping you focus on where you need to improve. Would you say that's a correct statement?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Very
It's
good.
a combination, you know.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you really enjoyed the, you know, online content, because I did work really hard to structure that content to go from this is the first thing you need to know to the last thing you need to know, to really beef up your understanding on how to take the test. Now, when we were in tutoring sessions working together, what was your favorite thing about those sessions and how did they help you?
Well, I think it's mostly two things. One thing is that we looked at so many questions, and we tried to apply the strategy of prioritizing to each question. The other thing was that just simply my lack of knowledge. So I had some gaps in my knowledge, and having the tutoring could help me fill in those gaps.
Right. And
So it made me feel a bit more complete in a way.
Right. And, you know, I emphasize this time and time again while we're working together. And anyone who follows my blogs, my podcast, you know, anything I do, I always say you don't have to know everything in order to be proficient, right? It's impossible to know everything. But yeah, when we're in session and if it's a strategy issue and you need, you know, that reinforcement on how to utilize and leverage the strategies to get to the right answer, or if it's a matter of knowledge deficit, maybe you don't understand, you know, a particular disease process because it's something you were never exposed to. That's very possible. Not all nursing schools, you know, even in the United States, not all nursing schools teach exactly the same way. So definitely when you have a, you know, foreign education and you're trying to pass the NCLEX, there could be some knowledge gaps. However, in addition to giving those bullet points of what it is you really need to focus on, in my program, I also have that resource section, which has a lot of really great resources, which are all up to date. And it's just kind of a library for you to be able to access that information without having to search the internet for hours and hours, wasting your time, right? So awesome. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where 0 or 1 is you won't recommend and 10 is you would recommend the program, where are you on that scale for recommending it to others?
From a perspective of where you are, especially a foreign educated nurse, I can't really speak for the American educated nurses because they might have some kind of training that we don't have specifically for the NCLEX.
I can guarantee you, I can speak for the American trained nurses. And I know what you're going to say. I'm just going to interject. It's not just for the foreign trained nurses, but yes, continue.
Yeah, so I would say a 10 just because it's so difficult to do this alone. Especially if you don't have a lot of other peers in your situation, and you don't have like a study group where you study for the same purpose. It's just very difficult to do this by yourself. So I would on a scale of 1 to 10, I would recommend it on a 10.
Awesome.
I would.
Well, thank you so much. That really means so much to me. You know, I'm very confident in what I've learned over the years and how to help individuals pass this exam. No matter if you're a first-time test taker and you're American trained, If you're a repeat test taker, if you've been on a 10+ year journey, if you've taken the exam multiple times with unsuccessful attempts, if you have even learning disabilities or accommodations, test anxiety, all of these types of clients I've helped over the years. I am now pushing into the thousands, where I've helped thousands of people pass the NCLEX. And, I really enjoy doing this, because not only do I love helping people, which is why I became a nurse, but we need you. We need more nurses. So, thank you so much for trusting me to help you pass the NCLEX. I cannot wait to follow you as you transition into practice and watch you as you grow in your career. And don't forget that I'm also offering a 6-month transitioning into practice professional development program that's going to be an additional opportunity to fill in the gaps of knowledge, where we're going to cover so many of those essential skills that you don't get taught in school, because they're on the job kind of learning situations. But if you get into this program, you get that one-to-one coaching, mentoring, and tutoring as you transition through practice, so that you are equipped with conflict resolution skills. You're equipped with being able to manage complex situations. You really know all the roles and responsibilities of the entire interdisciplinary healthcare team, so that you can leverage those individuals and utilize their expertise when you or your patients need them. And there's so much more. There's financial intelligence, there's entrepreneurship, there's political stuff. There's a lot of things that we just don't get access to in nursing school that I wish I had coming out of school. A lot of people, when they hit the floor running, they have this tremendous reality shock, and then they don't know how to really cope with learning and dealing with a lot of the stressors of the new role. So this coaching, mentoring, and tutoring program is really designed to fill in those gaps and to provide that additional support. And so if you or anyone else is interested in that program, you can always go to thenursepeak.com professional development, and you'll see everything that's in the program. It's an application only process. I'm only accepting 6 people per cohort, and you have to apply for it. And this is so that we are making sure that we're getting people who are motivated and dedicated to enhancing their nursing profession from the start. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time here today, and I cannot wait to celebrate in your nursing career success. Thanks so much.
Yeah.